if you can get the best version of Tyler Van Dyke, like the September version of him, that would be the guy that gives you the best chance of beating the Seminoles. The problem is we haven't seen that version of him in over a month. So the biggest nightmare for Hurricane fans would be you trot out Van Dyke like nothing's changed. He has another 3 interception game, and, Miami gets destroyed against Florida State. You've also noted that making a quarterback change, especially for a game like this, it's a complicated thing for a college football team to do. What goes into that? And do you think Miami might be doing that this week?
Here's the disconnect. Fans look at it from a long-term perspective. Their only objective, by and large, is when do we win a national title? It's just a one-prong, simplistic thing. Well, coaching is not that way, especially when it comes to the quarterback position. 1,000 reps between that signal caller and his primary receiver is just a drop in the bucket. You can't possibly get enough reps even for him, let alone number 2 and number 3 being Brown and Williams, whoever is number 2 or 3, whatever it is. You can't do it. So that's a huge conundrum. And then there's the signals, and then there's all the chemistry with the offensive line, making checks. It's a nightmare to do even before the season. Like if you see a big change in fall camp, one guy just gets better, you used to have a little chance. In the middle of a year, I mean, you're throwing caution to the wind. And this isn't my opinion. This is from talking to college coaches. So they know how hard it is. On top of that, and this is the one that is touchy and it's sentimental, it's subjective, it's the locker room, especially those juniors, seniors, and fifth-year seniors. Do you really think they care about hearing about next? They put on all those pads and done all that workout stuff for hours and hours every day, weeks, months, and years. And now you're saying you're planning for, basically the future. How well do you think that goes over? And I've had a lot of coaches talk to me about that as well. It's a nightmare because you can lose a team really quick, especially like captains and key guys.
Right.
You think about Matt Lee. He transfers in. This is his last year. Tell him that you're going to go to a different guy all of a sudden that he, like Tyler was there to meet him when he visited Miami. There are connections there and personalities that are just connected to Tyler, whether the Miami fans want to hear it or not. And that is very complex. So if Mario pulls the plug, especially to start the game, it's one thing if he goes out and it just, if he plays terrible by halftime, it is what it is. You make the change at half. But like before the game, there are a lot of possible bad things that can happen with your roster. So that's rough. And I just don't know if fans understand it from that perspective or want to, because they want to win now. I get it. But because he's playing so bad, they also want to hear about the future. And Emory's not a guarantee, and neither is Jacurri. There's a lot of problems there.
But I guess like my counterpoint to that with what you're saying about the locker room is I think it could be just as bad or even worse if you keep starting the quarterback who has been like single-handedly, obviously, and I want to make this clear. I also think the offensive play calling could be better and a lot more creative. And I will also point out that Shannon Dawson is not only the offensive coordinator, he is the quarterback's coach. So it is his job to get Tyler Van Dyke prepared to play these games. He's not looked prepared in recent weeks. How much of that is on him? Probably most of it, but I think some of it goes on Dawson as well. But at the same time, with how much Van Dyke has been struggling, if you keep playing him and he keeps playing the way he's been playing for the last month, doesn't that then also risk because might the locker room be like, man, we're still any other position this guy's he gets benched by now. Like if I'm a running back, I fumble a couple times, I get benched, right? If I miss a couple of blocks on the offensive line, I'm getting benched. Might the locker room look at it that way? You could lose them if you keep playing him.
There's part of that, but I think most football players, especially the upperclassmen, understand that quarterback's different.
Okay.
Like their reps and what they got to go through. A fumble is huge, but like to get to the point to be the starting quarterback, the amount of work and the effort with the playbook and knowing everybody else's assignment. If you're the QB, you got to know where everybody is, not just you. I used to have a buddy that was an offensive lineman that played big time football. And he said, the only thing I got to know is like what assignment the O-line. I don't pay attention to anything else. I'm like, wow, that's pretty simple. It's not that way with quarterback, man.
No.
So unfortunately, you're going to tick some people off either way.
Yeah.
There is not a 100% good answer here.